drink it. It's a good thing. It quenches your thirst and revitalizes you in a good way. So, hello and welcome to another Impulsive Compulsion video here at Question the Truth with Slisk Linguist. That's me, oh yeah. And we're here to question my sanity, because that's why I create these, because I have a really strange mind in some way. Or no way, I have no idea. Anyway, we're going to talk about a little thing called mental health. This is very impulsive. Yeah. Every time I talk about anything at all, it's just impulsive compulsion. Impulsive compulsion is me being really impulsive. Now, the time here is gonna be light strip forever and ever. Yes. No, not really. But I do like the sun, and it's the evening sun that shines upon me. Yes, that's good. Okay, so we have mental health and treatment of health. This is something that I thought about when I spoke about the morals and values and judgments of others. The value of life isn't really measured in... Let's first start off with the treatment of life, how we treat others. And that is... I can't say that I'm treating others good. I treat them with respect, though. And respect isn't being good to people. It's being honest, truthful, and that's respecting other people. We also have the other parts of it where we try to build up other people, and that is what you do in a companionship, which I also talked a bit about when I made the sexism and objectification. Yeah, I'm looking down because I have this memory mind map for making all the videos. It's gonna be about 16 videos, and I'm into I think it's the 7th video now, but I'm not sure. So no, it's the 6th video. And when we talk about how would you say that you treat other people? Do you think that you're fair in your assessments of treating other people when you probably use your values, your judgment upon how you treat others in every occasion? I don't want to judge people. I still do it. Doesn't mean it's right. I want to live a judgmental free life. How do I do that? Hopefully one day I'm gonna meet someone that is like me, and we're gonna be judgmental free together, just living. And just living isn't something that you can do because you still have these past prior negative parts of yourself. Why I state it as a negative is because all negativity is good, because the mistake is what we learn from. Otherwise we don't learn at all. Because we're stupid. All humans are stupid. We don't listen to others. We don't take in others' advice. We still, even if we take in others' advice, we still do our own thing, and we let our ego thrive. So first we try our thing, and then we turn to the advice that we got. I know it too well. Also know it with all the peeps that I've spoken to and met throughout the years. This sunshine is really good at censoring my mouth. Yeah, okay, I can live with that. But how we treat others, that's depends on how we get treated depends on how we treat others. So when we neglect others because of something that we deem not acceptable or good enough in our worldview, we neglect others. And this is a big problem too. It's not just the objectification and sexism and the egoism and all of that. We also have that we do put our judgment upon others without the clarification of what will happen when we judge the others. I get judged a lot. I say stuff that people don't want to hear because I speak out in my truth. I am as honest. I respect others, so I am honesty itself. I am going to be honesty, the only honesty, and I am going to be as selfless as possible. I am going to strive towards altruism, and I am going to try and incorporate all my judgment in a righteous thought pattern. And as I stated in the earlier video about judgment, morals and values, it's all about seeing the good and the bad, and the fourth view of both of them, and then the ninth view, which is the whole. And from that being able to make a good decision. That's where wisdom comes from. The good decisions comes from understanding other perspectives. When it comes to the mental health issues that we have, they derive from the neglect that we've had prior in our lives. And we try to find this passion and that we had as children, where we always felt this inner love because we loved ourselves as children. But then the third party came in, the Third Reich, called Mommy and Daddy. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Hitler, basically, telling us what we can and cannot do. Then the other part of the Hitler family came upon us, called society, also telling us what we can and cannot do, and what we should do, and stating that you shall do this and that, because if you do not do that, you're worthless. So it's a mind trickery in this world. I'm not proud of living on welfare, but I survive on it. I have my mental health issues, and I kind of cope with them, and I try to learn more about them, and the more I learn about them, the more I understand mental health issues as a whole. Kind of. Actually hurts. Feels like I'm lying. I don't understand it. I just have my own view of it. My own view is far from what any other person have, but I base my thoughts of mental health issues to be from the neglect of those around us. And when I say neglect, I mean the oppression of the mind of being yourself. And the world becomes the teacher that teaches you how to be egocentric. They don't teach you about your dreams, how to handle your life. They just teach you what is necessary to become a cog in the world. Oh, I was a truth seeker. I'm still a truth seeker. And I believed in so many strange conspiracies. But you know what? I'm also like a living lie detector, which is really, really nice. Because I feel other people's energies. And you might say I'm delusional. Maybe I am. I don't know. I only know that what I feel is what is true for me. It cannot be true for you because you are not having my reality or live it, or live my reality, live my life. Maybe it's just me distancing myself and associating to other situations and being really super empathetic. I don't know. But when I talk to people and I feel their heart rate become my heart rate, I feel other people's feelings become my feelings, kind of becomes a tad difficult for me to know if it's real or not. That's the mental health issues that I have, in one way. But when we go back to the other parts, the world that we live in, it is built upon stress. There's new information all the time. You have to do this and you have to do that, and you shall be up there, and you should do that, and you need to do that within that and that and it and that, and it's the same thing all over the world, and we live in it, and we lose ourselves in it, and then we're sad. We turn to our egoism and we want to create life. We turn to the objectification and we want to create something that can fill us with life, because we are incapable of doing that ourselves. And life is God. Or rather, it's the synonym for God. And life, we're part of it, but we aren't life. We're not God. God is different. It is the only force that does not judge. That there is only one of. And it can be interpreted as so many things. And it can become anything. And yeah, how should I put it? Life is the last thing that leaves your body. And it's always with you. Doesn't that sound exactly as what's written everywhere else? This is what people talk about when they talk about God. They just don't understand that it's such a simple and lovable force. In physics, it's a force of nature, but it's nothing more than that. It's still in physics. It's in science. It's part of it. But life is more than just life. It's passion and energy. And when you're filled with it, you're filled with passion and you're filled with energy. I'm not really filled with life right now, but I know when I am, I'm crazy euphoric. Because it's the ultimate happiness. There's no judgments. There's no divisions. There's no sexism. There's no egoism. It's all is altruism and acceptance of everything and everyone. It's this is kind of what bipolar is to me. That's my understanding of it. It's really strange. But back to how we treat people. We treat people as something different from ourselves. We judge other people because we do not understand them. We do not understand the differences. We think that everything is the same. We also think that everyone thinks alike. And since we do think like this, and it's a known fact that everyone knows that everyone thinks differently, but unconsciously we take it for granted that others know this and others know that. It's the same problem for me. It's really difficult for me to talk about some of the things because I've put in years upon years of learning, of reading, and trying to understand myself. I have a hypothesis about polarities and temporary entanglements, which will be the next video, before I start getting into another subject that is a bit crispy. People don't really like to talk about life philosophies. Nope. I've noticed that when we talk about, say, drug usage, since I have used cannabis. It's not dangerous. It's less dangerous than alcohol. And alcohol, we put that in our bodies without even a thought about what it does to our bodies, which is insane. It's mold in water. Mold in water. Fuck. Yeah. That's strange. Anyway, we have people with mental health issues. They don't feel well. I'm not sitting any good here right now. Oh shit. Oh, that's good. That's better for the back. Okay, so we don't treat people as people when it comes to the usage of drugs, the over-usage of drugs. Why don't we do that? Why is it that we do not value life as equal just because someone is doing the opposite to what you think is wrong or right? Because what you think is right or wrong is not what others think is right or wrong. Others are actually just fleeing their past because they aren't capable of understanding it at the time being. They're fleeing it through the substances so that they will not have to take the past in again. Because the past is filled of neglect, and their misery is also filled with neglect. And all they search for is happiness and something loving that gives them a sense of release from all the negativity that they are surrounded with. And that's basically why people drink alcohol. If you think about it, the heart gets warm because it's a poison. It's a poison introduced to the body, and you get a temporary infection, and the heart tries to pump it out and do as much work as possible, and it gets hot. And when you feel that warmth, it feels kind of like something that you think is love. Because we have this notion that love is warmth and relaxing. And it kind of is. When you find the right people, oh, it's so relaxing to be with them. You can say anything. You don't need to think about what you're saying. And that's basically how I feel about everyone. Kind of. Could be because I don't care at all about what others have to say, but I actually do care about what others have to say. Because if I stop to listen, I don't learn. and I need to listen in order to learn, and I need to learn in order to get more questions to ask myself, to get more insight about myself. When we have all the substance using people here in Sweden is Sweden has almost the highest amount of death rates in the whole of Europe, because we still neglect them, because they're fucking druggies. What the fuck? They're barely human. They're doing it to themselves. Hello. If they want to live a better life, just quit. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, because people aren't capable of, if they have never even tried another substance or really had a super tough childhood or a tough life, tough enough life in order to fall down into a usage of substances, then they don't have the right to express themselves about it. There's so much people right now suffering by their own doing, may I say, that they can't handle reality, really. We have the substance users, we have the pill users, well, which is substance users. We also have the people that are we also have the people that are, come on, give me the word. We also have the other people that have mental issues, like depression. Depression, for me, people that say negative things about depression, for me, that's stupidity. Because you've been oppressed by your parents, you've been oppressed by the society that you're a part of. You're taking part in something that oppresses your dreams, and you oppress yourself. And then, and when I say you oppress yourself, you something happens. You should be crying, but you're not crying. You're like, I don't have time for that now. I don't have time for that now. The thing is that the brain, the mind, it doesn't think in linear time. Everything that happened to you happened yesterday. And I have a saying. Yesterday is set in stone. The future is not yet. And since the future and since tomorrow is not yesterday, then today is the day for change. So when we think about depression, I think D and pression. Detachment of emotional oppression. That's what I see. And we cry, and we feel sad, And it's emotions that we've been oppressing since we were children, probably. Because others say it's not okay. But they're not saying it or stating it because they're evil or have a conspiracy against you. They say it lovingly because they... Oh, I need to eat something, I think. Well, they do it based upon their judgment, their knowledge, their experiences, their associations. It's the same with everything else. As I said earlier, I have been a truth seeker my whole life. I used to think that conspiracies were real. Yes, there are some real conspiracies, but most of them are just cogs. Things based upon people's self-interest. Even if they're small or big or don't exist, it's self-interest, it's egocentric behavior. And we talk about compassion. There's a lot of people that we should question if they are in a good or bad place, really. You can see people, I saw a joke yesterday on Instagram. Oh my god, I thought I crashed into an animal. Oh, thank God, it was only a human. I was like, what? Is that supposed to be a joke? Okay, because that's not even funny. It's dehumanizing. It's far from compassionate, and it's damn. I think I'm getting angry. Real angry. Otherwise, it wouldn't be stabbing my heart. Or someone else is angry at me. You know, I never know. I never know. I am active in trying to get all drugs decriminalized here in Sweden. Well, I'm not active. I've been active. As I've stated earlier, I have a lot of initiatives, and I only talked about two of my projects there. I have there's so much more to HugNet that I didn't talk about. There is also so much more about the decriminalization initiative, the pick it up movement that I am trying to get people to take part in by indoctrinating themselves with the words, those that walk past it and do not pick it up have the same mentality as those who threw it on the ground, even if they would never do it themselves. Basically, it's such an easy thing to put in your mind. It really is. Yeah, and I also spoke a little bit about my religion or life philosophy, because religion is religion. The two pyramids that, oh, there it is. The two here we have these two again. We have life philosophy and we have religion. Everyone for one. One for all. It's incorporated in everything. These two. Judgment. Perspective of life, perspective of choices, perspective of values, perspective of judgment, perspective of everything. Perspective is incorporated in everything that we have been learning from people all over the world. Unconsciously, probably, like the Three Musketeers. Three Musketeers. One, the fourth, for all. One for all. One for all. All for one. One for all. This is basically the same thing. It's judgment. True judgment. And back to the mental health issues. I haven't really stated what it is actually, because, well, it's, let's recap it. Mental health issues is based upon the neglect of self. Depression is the release of those oppressions and is therefore, or thereby, a positive experience, but you instead have problems managing this state. You and those that often do have this state, everyone goes through the state, but some people bottle it up a bit longer than others, so it gets more intense. Others just maybe just oppress a whole day and then release it when they get home, and it's like, and there it's gone. Others sit and cry for 10 years because they don't understand. The mind thinks today, tomorrow, today, tomorrow, yesterday, past, one day. All that happened yesterday is part of now if you focus on past. Past is yesterday for the mind. The mind will not be able to linear the things if you don't tell it to linear the things. But what you feel will not be linear. What you think of, oh, what did I do when I was 5? You will think back in a linear thing, but when you're sad, you're sitting and crying. You don't understand why, but it could be because some fucker stole your bicycle when you were 10, and you just swallowed it, and it's like, I can get a new one. It's no problem. And you're really sad inside, and you're just swallowing it and wallowing it. And that's depression. Releases those feelings. Everything that happened from your birth to yesterday becomes one day. That's the oppression, and when it's released, it's being known as depression. And often enough, we don't understand what's happening, and psychology is not really helping in this case because they don't understand it either to the full extent. That's what I see, because they talk about, oh, you need to eat better, you need to go out and walk. Yeah, that's a good thing to oppress what you're feeling. It's a really good way to oppress it. The really good way to extinguish it, though, is to accept it. It's called CBT, cognitive something blah 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 in English. In Swedish it's KBT. For me, even that is crap, because what I did to release myself from the fears of the past was to actually, I was really fucking afraid of snakes and horses and elevators. What do you think I did? And heights, even. What do you think I did? I didn't sit there for weeks upon years talking about, oh, blah 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 blah. No, I went to my friends that had snakes. Can I hold it? White as a frickin' sheet. Cold sweating all over myself, being so scared that I think I'm gonna die, and then I think maybe it's not me, it's the snake. And I calmed down. But it took me years. I still notice this. This is the entanglement. I'm going to talk about that in the next video. Entanglement is a real thing, and it's mighty. It is. Damn. But yeah, so I don't know if I have a good answer for anything when it comes to the mental health issues that people have, but what we need to do is start to actually respect life, and thereby also create a new core or a new platform for people to live their lives on. Or yeah, so I like Portugal. They have some good ideas. There's also other. Sorry. Oh. Maybe it's because the sun is going down and I should go to sleep. Oh, it's so early. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't eat anything because my body is using the body fat I have. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna round it off here right now because it's not getting any serious at all. Fuck me. No. Don't do it. That's sexist. Well, anyway. Thank you for sitting by and listening to my rants about mental health issues. It's basically stress, neglect of self and from others, and a bit, it's a tiny tad bit trauma, basically. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and everyone handles it differently. But anyway, thank you, over and out, and see you. The next video is going to be about temporary entanglements.